Welcome back one and all to Retro Racing for round 6 of 8 in the first championship of Retro Racing. Today we're going to be racing round Monza. It's promising to be an absolutely cracking race. So let's have a look at them current championship standings after the first 5 races. Mitch leads the way with 2 points over Steve F1. So it's very, very close between those two. So it's time to now look at qualifying. Steve F1 takes pole position from Lex in P2. Mungino takes P3 on the grid. Mitch in P4. Mandalorian in P5. ToMC in P6. Diesel in P7. GBM Ullman in P8. RJ Cool on P9. AFC Guna P10. Craig P in P11. And Jules SK in P12. And at the back we've got JC70. So it's that time again to hand over to your race commentators, me, myself, James Shaw, and the one and only Justin Dix. Right, so here we go then. The start of round 6 of Retro Racing is underway. Steve F1 from pole position gets a really, really good start. I think one of the drivers in the background, I think that, Mandalorian's off on the grass, Justin. Fucking hell, I think Mangino there just had a bit of a poor start off the line, and already the two McLarens trying to hunt down Steve F1. Lex is the first of the McLarens. He's took the lead of the race. He's side by side with Steve F1 now as they head towards the first chicane. Mitch is in there in 3rd place. ToMC also trying it as well, but Lex takes the lead of the race. Mitch also gets in front of Steve F1. That is vital for his title fight there, all the way around the outside of the first chicane. And yeah, Steve F1 gone from pole position down to P3 in only 40 seconds into the race. Indeed, I'm pretty sure that Ron Dennis will be rubbing his hands as we see Jules up the inside there of AFC Guna in the number 53 Mercedes-Benz. And yeah, he's got Craig GP all over him as well in the Williams. And this is the fight now for 9th place as they're heading up towards Starry. So here we go, it's very, very close. And oh, JC, oh, he's off onto the gravel there. That's devastating for the second Benetton driver, and we will be definitely talking this week to Flavio Brigatore on the pit wall. Unfortunately, we were too busy last week, but he said he will definitely be able to fit us in as we're getting a bit of a replay here, Justin. Fucking hell. Oh, on board there with AFC Guna. Diesel there just moved across the front of him at the race start. That forced AFC Guna off the track. I think Diesel could possibly be getting a penalty, but it was very, very touch and go. Could be, but we're back in that live now. There are both McLarens in P1 and 2, and it looks to me as if Mitch and Lex are bump drafting each other to try and pull away from Steve F1 in 3rd place. We're now on board with Steve F1 as they're heading towards the first chicane. And yeah, you were telling me, Justin, that Ron Dennis has been saying that Mitch is definitely going to be taking priority in the team. As further back there we've got Jules and I believe Diesel side by side in the background. And there we can see Mungino. He started in a decent position. I think it were either 4th or 5th. But right now he's sat in 7th place. Craig in the Williams is running in front of Diesel at this moment. Oh, there's a bit of dust. Oh, Craig's lost it. Craig's lost it, Justin. Oh, that's devastating for the Williams team. And also Diesel. He was an innocent party there. He just came around the corner, tried to avoid it, and unfortunately Craig just slapped into the side of it. Give him a good old slap and tickle as we're getting a bit of a replay. Oh, this is also AFC Guna. Later on this is the first lap, ran into the back of Diesel, I believe, as we're here side by side with Jules. Under braking, gets a wheel on the grass, out of control. Oh, slaps into Diesel, and that's got a -3 point penalty written all over it. So yeah, looks like Diesel's getting a -1 point penalty for the first bit of weaving down the straight, and then yeah, AFC Guna getting a -3 point penalty there for the collision later on as we're back now live on board with Steve F1 behind both McLaren, starting to bump draft each other. Oh, and ToMC's in there as well, James. Indeed, Justin, this is very, very close as they head down towards the first chicane. And Mitch and Lex, oh, ToMC, opportunistic there, up the inside of Steve F1. I think Steve F1 is definitely not trying to take any risks today because he knows any bit of contact which could force another driver off the circuit could result in a -3 point penalty. So we can see here Lex and ToMC, they're definitely the type of drivers that can really push the limits today, whereas Mitch and Steve F1, I think they're going to have to be very, very conservative when it comes to wheel-to-wheel action, as we're now looking at Mungino behind GBM Allman here in his Ferrari. He's the sole Ferrari today. All the fans are behind GBM Allman as we're now looking back at Jules. And yeah, he's running between both Lotuses. Diesel's in front in P8 and Mandalorian's back in P10. But yeah, running through Ascari. The exit of the chicane is crucial as they head down onto this back straight. And yeah, Jules, I think he is running in a fairly decent position, but I'm pretty sure he's been telling me he's wanting to finish in the top 6 today as we've got the McLarens. Are they going to start bump drafting? Yes, I think Ron Dennis's plan is very much in play right now as Mitch is bump drafting the back of Lex, and here comes Tom C. He's also getting in on the act, trying to bump draft both McLarens, and this is just to try and pull away from Steve F1. But yeah, Tom C now trying to make the move here on Mitch, but Mitch is on the inside, covering off Lex, really trying to push the limits there. The McLarens really defending their position, and Steve F1, he's being very, very patient in P4, just set behind Tom C, and in a way, being set behind Tom C is probably the best thing, because Tom C is the one that can take the risks. He's the one that can try and force the errors of both McLarens, as we're now looking at the Ferrari there of GBM Albon, and there is Jules in P8. And where is Diesel? I think Diesel's had a problem. He's gone down to P9. I think Jules may have got in the slipstream and got himself in front of both Lotus. So that just shows you how quick Jules is today. And there is Craig in the Williams. He's definitely having a bit of a struggle, but we're back to the front, chap. Indeed, Justin, not only we've got a fantastic battle here up at the front, we've also got a fantastic team principal on the radio right now, the one and only Flavio Brigatore, the team principal of the Benetton team. We hear, Flavio, that there is a potential issue right now between Steve F1 and his race engineer Alex. There's a bit of a communication issue, and he's not quite understanding his race engineer or yourself, and we believe that might be contributing to him not being so quick here this weekend.
I think so. Everybody speaks English in the team. I don't know where the communication language is coming from, but you know, in this moment I know the team is the car is not competitive, and the driver is not competitive as well. We had their own package, you know, but it's not the photo Dallas completely. The car is we try to improve the car, but I know already it was very difficult here. I try building the team for next year. This is what is possible doing.
Indeed, Flavio, but I think it's not, you know, it's not worth writing this championship off just because Steve F1's struggling, because right now he's only 2 points behind Mitch in the championship. It's definitely on the cards if he can stick in there. Did you give Steve F1 any words of advice going into today's race?
Yes, to go quick.
Ah, Flav, you're a funny fact.
Yeah, it's enough.
Right, thank you very, very much for joining us, Flavio, as it looks like the two McLarens are still working together, but Steve F1 has definitely brought himself back into the fight now. He's all over the back of ToMC, riding on board with the Benetton driver of Steve F1. But yeah, what do you think, Justin? Do you think that the two McLarens are doing the right thing, working together here, or do you think it could lead into a potential disaster if a bit of bump drafting goes slightly wrong? Well, you can definitely tell that Ron Dennis is trying to limit the damage and limit the risk as both McLarens head through the first... Oh, both McLarens just ran through the chicane. I don't know if there was contact, but hopefully we'll be getting a bit of a replay if there was. Oh, it looks like Lex there trying to force ToMC off the circuit. There could be a potential investigation with the stewards. We will see if anything comes up that will mean that there is a problem. But right now Mitch leads the race from his teammate Lex, and with ToMC in P3. He's all over the back of Lex as they head up towards Ascari, under braking. It is quite difficult to get it all slowed down because these cars are quite heavy, but they're flying through Ascari at the exit, and you do not want to run wide because there's a big patch of grass there ready to absolutely swallow you up and slide you off the track. But here we go. We got ToMC. He's up the inside of Lex into the parabolica. Oh no, Lex there turns in as if to say, no chance, ToMC. You can watch the back of my rear wing all the way down this straight. Indeed, but the difficulty here for ToMC is every single time he pulls out of that slipstream, he's just hitting a wall of air, and every little bit of speed that he's built up just gets dissipated, whereas the two McLarens there, as you can see, they're bump drafting each other and pushing each other down the road, and Steve F1 very, very close in P4 as Lex is all over the back of his teammate. But I think this is definitely just an... Oh, ToMC up the inside here, Justin. Oh my god. Oh, he's up the inside of Lex. And let's put him in front of Lex. That's a fantastic move there from ToMC. Very late on the brakes. Definitely pushing the limits there. And Lex... Oh, I don't think he'll be impressed with that. ToMC just broke him into the chicane. But ToMC very, very cautious under braking, making sure that he didn't hit the back of Mitch. But that was very, very nice driving for both drivers. But there is Steve F1 set in 4th place right now. This is the battle for P6 with Mangino all over the back of the Ferrari of GBM Elman. And he's GBM Elman set behind RJ Cool. So I don't think that Mangino's going to be able to pull out as we're looking up towards Ascari under the Brembo sign. Here we go, on the brakes. That was a nice little bit of driving there from the Ferrari driver as he's trying to hunt down the Mercedes of RJ Cool. But Mangino definitely trying to push the car down the road. But yeah, this is one of those battles where every single time you pull out of the slipstream, it could be curtains, as we see now. ToMC pulling out of the slipstream is side by side with Mitch. But watch out for Lex in 3rd place. He's the one getting the slipstream right now. And there we go. He joins the party. He pushes Mitch up the road. And that pushes him in front of ToMC, giving him a bit more momentum. Oh, so close. So close to disaster as Lex gets himself back into P2 in front of ToMC, using Mitch as pretty much trying to fight his way through. And that was absolutely ragged there from ToMC, almost losing the rear end, and Steve F1 will have seen that. Indeed he will. Every single time he sees ToMC light up them rear tyres, he will be wanting to get past us. We're looking back the fight for P5, and Oldman's got in front of RJ Cool. RJ Cool's down to P7 now in the Mercedes. I think he's had a little bit of an off, either that or it's been Slipstream City down the main straight, as we're now looking at Jules in P9 running behind. It was Mandalorian. Diesel has pitted and he's come out in P11, and he's trying to hunt them down, as this is the battle for the race lead. We've just gone over the 10-minute mark. Are we going to see any of the front runners in? I'm pretty sure if one goes in, they're all going to go in, because none of them want to give up on any of that slipstream. Steve F1 definitely is struggling. He's not able to hang in there with these guys, but they're all carrying on right now. And there you can see Steve F1 in the yellow Benetton, and just as long as Steve F1 stays within 2 seconds of the cars in front, he will definitely get a bit of slipstream. But here you can see the 3 drivers of Mitch, Lex and ToMC bump drafting each other to try and get away from Steve F1. ToMC all over the back of Lex, and they're all getting a little bit weavy. They need to be very, very calm and careful on the brakes. Here we go. Oh, ToMC up the inside of Lex. Has he also got up the inside? Yeah, he has. ToMC takes the lead in the race, Justin. Fucking hell, that was crazy there from ToMC. Up the inside. That was a fantastic move. Here we go. We got a bit of a replay. How far back is he from Mitch? He's a mile away. Under braking. Brakes so late. Turns in. Leaves room. And he gets the lead. What a brilliant bit of driving there. Another replay. Under braking. And you can't quite see. But ToMC, very late on the brakes, knows that Mitch can't have an error. And yeah, takes advantage. Gets himself in front. And that's how you do it. Very, very dangerous, but at the same time, very, very calculated and clean. But now, we've got Diesel, P10. We've got trying to hunt down AFC Gunner in P9. And Mandalorian in P8. They're only a few seconds up the road. Oh, Steve F1's got in front of Lex. I think Lex has had a problem halfway around the lap. Here we go. We've got a bit of a replay out of Ascari. He's gone through Ascari. He's run wide. That's how he got in front. That's how Steve F1 is now up to P3. Lex just running wide onto the gravel. And he's in the pit lane right now. Lex, Mitch takes the lead in a race, James. Indeed, so here we go. ToMC back in the slipstream of Mitch as Mitch took the lead of the race. Steve F1 has got in on this, and there you can see straight away, once the McLarens stop bump drafting each other, it's really brought Steve F1 back into play in P3. But yeah, Mitch leads the race. There needs to be no mistakes if he wants to hold on to the championship fight. He cannot afford to get himself in any shenanigans. Neither can Steve F1, as Lex has pitted, and there he is. He's in P4. He's managed to hold on to his position, and GBM Allman and RJ Cool still fighting tooth and nail further back for P5. But yeah, the Ferrari of GBM Allman, I'm pretty sure that every single man and dog around this racetrack will be cheering him on, as there is AFC Guna and Diesel P9 and 10, but back up at the front, so MC not letting Mitch get away. He really is applying the pressure, and Steve F1 just needs to sit in that slipstream and hope that he doesn't make a mistake and run wide, because once he drops out of that slipstream, once he drops more than 2 seconds behind these two, I think that slipstream will just disappear, and you could end up going probably a second slower as Mitch and 2MC head into the pit lane, down to Mr. G.
Oh my god, guys, yes, the McLaren boys are at work right away. They did a flash stop there to get himself. Oh, he's right in front of 2MC at the pit exit. There is Steve F1 leading the race, but where's he going to feed out? They're both feeding out just in front of Lex.
Indeed they have, but whereabouts is Lex? Has he got more speed? Is he catching these two? There he is in the background. He might just be getting a little touch of speed on the slipstream, even though he is a fair way back, as 2MC and Mitch still fighting tooth and nail. And yeah, this has definitely brought Lex back into the fight, as there's a slight look up there from 2MC as they're headed through the first chicane, and Mitch really has got a hell of a lot of pressure on his shoulders trying to hold on. Oh, he's run wide. Could this give 2MC a look as they head through Lesmo 2? And oh, Lex, they're really pushing the back of 2MC. This is really a battle of attrition. Try not to make a mistake, boys, because it's going to be massive if you do. It's such a high speed circuit. One little mistake could turn into absolute disaster as Mitch heads through the start of Ascari. 2MC really pushing for all he's worth. He's got nothing to lose, and neither does Lex. Oh, 2MC's run wide. His tyres are full of gravel. That put Lex into P3, Justin. Ah, fucking it. This is definitely a race of stress. Who can put up with the stress? Who can apply the stress? And who can, just deal with it? As we're seeing Diesel right now, P8. He had a poor start along with his teammate. There's AFC Guna all sideways. They're heading out of Ascari. That's put Mandalorian up to P9 on fresh tyres there for Mandalorian. He's only pitted about a lap ago, and we're back to it. We're back to Ron Dennis's games of bump drafting. They're trying to fight and push themselves back up to try and catch Steve F1 in P1, and it looks like right now that Steve F1 out in the lead is definitely trying to do the one-stop strategy. He's right 8 seconds in front of these guys, but I bet if they keep bump drafting, as one of the drivers gone off in the gravel, I bet if they keep bump drafting, they will hunt Steve F1 down very, very quickly, as Steve F1 been on these tyres since the start of the race. And there you can see just in the background Mitch is really, really hunting. He's trying to hunt his prey down, but Steve F1, if he wants to win the race, he really does need to be in front of Mitch before his pit stop at around 20 minutes if he's going to do a one-stop. And there's Mangina P7 in the Ligier, going under the old circuit there, and there is Diesel in P8 and his teammate Mandalorian right behind him, and Mandalorian is pushing hard there, but there is there's a race leader, Steve F1. I expect him to carry on, James. Indeed, Justin, and you are proven right, as Mitch and Lex, here we go, they're gonna have to start bump drafting to push themselves back up towards Steve F1, who is now only 7 seconds in front, so they took out 1 whole second over Steve F1 in the race lead. I'm pretty sure if they keep working together, that gap will just reduce, and this is just allowing 2MC. He's just sat there right now. He's thinking there's no point in fighting this until later on in the race, as Lex keeps looking as though he's going to try and overtake, but then just slots behind Mitch and gives him the good old bump draft as ahead under braking for the first chicane once again. And it's all about keeping it clean through there. Lex just went a touch deep. This has just dropped him a fair few car lengths behind Mitch now, and that bump draft is pretty much out of the window, I think, until the next time around. But here is RJ Cool. He's just sat there in P5, and I'm pretty sure, I don't see that he's pitted on the right-hand side. I think RJ Cool is also going for a one-stop. That's why he's in the battle up at the front, as GBM Allman, he has pitted, I believe. No, he hasn't. No, neither has Mungino. He has. Mungino pitted around lap 9.
Whereas Mandalorian, I think he only pitted a few laps ago. Mandalorian's got himself in front of his teammate. He was behind earlier. Hopefully we might get a bit of replay, but yeah, the battle up at the front is definitely taking precedent here today. And there we go, Steve F1, 18 minutes 40 on the clock, and he's still going round, he's still leading the race. And there is Lex. Yeah, he still hasn't caught the back of his teammate, and here we go. This is the first time he's going to be able to give Mitch a bit of bump draft, and TMC very close indeed as well, Justin. And I'm going to say, the bump drafting is so dangerous, because if you hit the car in front just slightly too hard and you end up with damage on your front wing, that could be disastrous heading into a corner. But as you can see with TMC, Lex just trying to put TMC off by slightly weaving there, but they really are pushing in Steve F1. The gap is now down to 6 seconds exactly. And yeah, you can definitely tell that Mitch is really catching, and RJ Cool just sat there in P5 letting these guys pull him around the track. As there is Steve F1 heading out of Les Mode 2. There is Mitch heading out of Les Mode 2. So yeah, this is really coming down. And yeah, we need to have a look at the lap times on the right hand side. Who is definitely going quick as Mandalorian still with his teammate in P7 and 8. And yeah, there is GBM Elman. He's just come out of the pit lane. He's just pitted, and is he close enough to stick with the two Lotus drivers? That is the key. If you can't stick with them, you're going to lose time. Whereas if you can sit behind them, if you can be 2 seconds behind the car in front, you get pulled around and you get an extra second in your pocket. And that is crucial. Around his checkers. Oh, Steve F1 into the pit lane, down to Mr. G. Oh my god, guys, this has to be the slickest stop that the Benetton team have ever done. It looks clean. Steve F1 is on his way and he's coming back out in P5. Thanks, Mr. G. Yeah, Steve F1 heading out of the pit lane. But I think the problem for Steve F1 right now is I don't think he's going to be within slipstream range, as Mitch, Lex and TMC are still fighting tooth and nail. But I'm pretty sure this is still just an absolute bump draft fest, as RJ Cole, yeah, sat in 4th place. He's really doing a decent job there. He still has not pitted in P4, and he's just pretty much being pulled around the circuit by TMC, Lex and Mitch. So that is definitely not a bad strategy there for the Mercedes driver in P4 at the moment. There's P6 and there's P7. Mandalorian just trying to hunt Longino down, and Diesel, Mandalorian's teammate, sat in P8 as we've just passed the halfway point. And there is GBM Ullman sat in P9. He pitted with fresher tyres behind both Lotuses, but as you can see, because he's not able to be stuck within 2 seconds of the cars in front, he's really not getting that slipstream to bring him back into the fight, as it looks like Mitch has definitely started to pull away from Lex in P2. Maybe Lex has had a little bit of an error, or Mitch is just really applying a bit more pressure to try and pull away now, as Steve F1 sat in 5th place, and TMC into the pit lane. So Justin, what do you think's going on here? So he's pitted, and he's trying to do the undercut on the two McLarens along with RJ Cool on could the McLarens be thinking to go a little bit longer so they've got fresher tyres at the end of the race? Fucking hell, I just don't know, James. I think pitting right now for TMC is putting him out of his strategy. Maybe he's going for a 3-stop. I don't know, because unless he's trying to cover off Steve F1, but that's put Steve F1 up to P3 now. But yeah, if I was TMC, I definitely would have stayed behind the McLarens, waited for them to pit, and then try and push for the last 15 minutes or so. But right now he's come out in P4. Maybe he thinks he'd get a bit of slipstream off Steve F1. He probably will. But Steve F1 is still not getting any slipstream off the two McLaren drivers, as Mangina in P6 trying to keep in front of the two Lotus drivers. Both Mandalorian and Diesel pushing very hard, trying to hunt Mangino down in P6. So here we go, under the old bridge. Oh no, we're back up at the front now. Lex and Mitch, I think it would be suicide if any of these drivers went into the pit lane right now. I think if Mitch pits, Lex has to pit as well. But I think also that if Mitch stays out, which I think he will do, both Lex will stay, because like I say, you try pit right now and you lose that slipstream, you're just going to be a sitting duck right now. But there is Steve F1 coming out of Parabolica onto the start finish straight, along with Dempsey. RJ Cool and Mangino side by side now. Mangino all over the back of RJ Cool. This is so clash, Jack. Indeed. So right now we're seeing Mangino and RJ Cool bump drafting each other down the start-finish straight to try and hunt down Steve F1 and get themselves into that fight up at the front. So yeah, a lot of drivers really have realised, well, I think Mangino's realised 20 minutes in, if he doesn't start bump drafting and you know, helping his fellow driver, then they're not going to get to be able to fight back up towards the front. As once they head into the corner there, they start fighting away. As yeah, I think Diesel and Mandalorian are doing the very same thing. Oh, we've got a bit of a replay here, Justin. That's Dempsey now up to P3 in front of Steve F1. So let's put him up there, and there you can see Mitch and Lex still keep going. I think they may be pitting at the end of this lap or the next lap, try and get out of the pit lane in P4 and 5, or P3 and 4. I think that's what they'll be targeting. But yeah, we'll be very close with the guys behind. But here we go through the parabolica. I think Jules there. Oh, he's getting out of shape. Jules and AFC Gunner heading through the parabolica in a bit of a replay. But yeah, AFC Gunner in front of Jules and the both. Oh no, Jules into the pit lane once he lost that position, but back up at the front. This is live now. This is Lex behind Mitch. Time C under pressure from Steve F1. Oh, Steve F1 is not going for the bump draft. Oh yes, he is. He's right behind Dome C. As I say, this is so dangerous. You make a slight error, you could lose your front wing. But here we go. Really working together to try and hunt down Mitch and Lex in P1 and 2. Oh, we go. Mangino up the inside there of RJ Cool. That's a nice move. Mangino up to P5. This is only his second race, and this is fantastic. P5 on the cards for Mangino. Oh, he rides the sausage. But yeah, earlier on I was speaking to Mandalorian. He was telling me, he said, yeah, he said, what do you want to do? Want to try and aim the car? Exactly, so your bum rides the sausage. And yeah, he said, but try not to get too excited when you ride it, because you know you can end up spurting everywhere. But here we go. Under the bridge, we've got RJ Cool trying to get back at Mangino, but this is bringing Mandalorian into the fight. Mandalorian pulled away from his teammate. Diesel is all over the back of RJ Cool now, Jam. Indeed he is. He's all over the back of RJ Cool, and yeah, I think maybe I might be getting mixed up, but I'm pretty sure Mandalorian was not talking about driving when he was having that conversation with you, Justin. But right now, this is Tom C in front of Steve F1, and there is RJ Cool running in front of Mangino and Mandalorian. Mandalorian gets in the slipstream of Mangino. This could be very close as they head over the start-finish straight. Diesel heads into the pit lane to try and do the undercut on these guys, but is that going to work? Is that going to be the winning ticket as Mangino and Mandalorian pull out from RJ Cool? Mandalorian starts bump drafting the back of Mangino as they head down the straight here, Justin. Fucking hell, so there is RJ Cool. He's on fresher tyres. He only pitted a few laps ago. And lap 15 is up the inside of Mandalorian. No, Mandalorian just enough in front there. RJ Cool is going to have to wait for another opposition. But here we go. Mandalorian all over the back of Mangino. This is the fight for P5. The Ligier versus the Lotus and the Mercedes of Mandalorian and RJ Cool running through the second. Lesmo. Oh, Mangino onto the gravel slightly. This could give Mandalorian a chance as they head under the old circuit, under the old bridge, and under the Brembro sign. Here we go. Up towards, oh my God, what's the corner? I forgot the corner, Jack. Yeah, it's a scary, Justin, as there we can see the Ligier Mangino trying to get back into the fight with Mandalorian, and I'm pretty sure that Mitch and Lex are into the pit lane right now, so they've only got 13.5 minutes left till the end of the race. Luckily, Ron Dennis has paid for 2 lots of pit lane crew to get this double stack out of the way. So where are the 2 McLarens? They've just come out of the pit lane. They're there up ahead as we've got Steve F1 trying to get in their slipstream, and look at the power there of the slipstream. Steve F1 pulled out from Toy MC and got into the slipstream of the 2 cars in front, which were exiting the pit lane, which is Mitch and Lex. And this is so close, heading down to the chicane, the first chicane, the GP circuit that the F1 cars drive on today. That chicane has been removed, which is why it's so powerful, the slipstream round here. But Toy MC, Steve F1
definitely fighting. Oh, RJ Cool and Mandalorian just in.
Yes, these two still fighting tooth and nail. There's the 2 cars behind, which is Diesel and Mangino. They have pitted, so these two need to stop squabbling. But here we go. Mandalorian up the inside of Lesmo 2 on RJ Cool. But right now, Mandalorian will have just given the slipstream to RJ Cool as we're looking back at the leaders now. They've just pitted, they've just come out in front of Steve F1, but Steve F1, he's been trying to do the one stop. Lex, almost going to be crossed up there on the exit of Ascari, but that's going to allow Steve F1 to get in their slipstream as they head down towards the Parabolica. But yeah, right now, this is really, really close, but Lex and Mitch have definitely put themselves in the best position as RJ Cool pulls out from the slipstream of Mandalorian. I'm pretty sure this is a replay on board with RJ Cool heading through Ascari. Mandalorian, he ran wide. He ran wide, so that's how RJ Cool got the run. So yes, RJ Cool, that was a great position. And Mandalorian now, this is live, he's pitted. This is going to be his final pit stop with only 11 minutes to go. And he's coming out of the pit lane. He's going to come out behind Mangino Diesel. This is Mangino right now. He's trying to have a look at Diesel. This is so close. The Ferrari of GP Amendment, James.
Right, so here we go then. We're about to head into the final 10 minutes of the race. This is the point where I do think the drivers up at the front are going to start preventing themselves from wanting to do the bump draft, because they will want to be the driver that wins the race. They're going to be fighting now tooth and nail. It might happen in the final 5 minutes. They may continue to bump draft for a few more minutes longer as, yeah, definitely Steve F1 is right in the fight for the race win right now. It was looking like he was going to be able to do that one stop and probably jump the guys in front, but they still managed to pit and come out in front of Steve F1. That just shows you the power of the bump draft. But yeah, heading through the Parabolica, is Steve F1 close enough to have a look at Mitch? Mitch is the driver in P2, and Steve F1 is fighting for the championship. The gap is down to Poo. It could go to Poo if there is a problem. You know, if there is a driver that hits another driver. Oh, a car coming out of the pit lane, Craig, and also another car. I think that's Steve F1's teammate. Hopefully he's seen that these guys coming in. Yes, he has. Just pulls out of the way at the last minute, and that has turned to Poo for Steve F1. Tom C has jumped him, and Mitch is now in the lead of the race.
Fucking hell, so here we go. Tom C up the inside. Lex, Lex hits the back of Mitch. That's definitely going to be a penalty for Lex. He's been doing so well, but no, he should hit the back of Mitch, but Mitch still leads the race.
Oh, that is devastating for the McLaren team.
Mitch now in P1. Steve F1 in P4. That could really be a big swing towards Mitch in the championship fight. As Mitch now in P1, and he's got his teammate all over the back of him. I don't know if these guys are going to be very friendly when it comes down to the final 5 minutes. As Diesel's in P6, his teammate on fresher tyres in P7, Mandalorian. And but back up at the front, here's Lex. He's going for it. He's not bump drafting. Lex wants to win this race. So he's used Mitch, and now he wants to win the race. He's saying, you know what, I've done my bit, I've helped you out, now I'm driving for me. I'm wanting to win the race, and Lex takes the lead of the race right now, P1, with less than just over 8 minutes to go. And Mitch is in P2, and Mitch is trying this strategy of Ron Dennis. Gone out of the window now. Tom C, we're on board, and it's gone 3 wide down the straight. But yeah, you can see that the McLaren drivers, once they stop working together, they keep losing out. And here comes Steve F1, very, very close. Oh, Mitch, very close to the outside of the circuit there, and Steve F1 behind Lex. Can Mitch get up the inside of Tom C? This would be brilliant under braking. Tom C leaves the room. Mitch leaves the room. That's fantastic racing from Tom C and Mitch.
That's amazing. Fantastic driving there from the front two drivers. And this is a replay on board with Steve F1. There you can see Steve F1's teammate coming out of the pit lane. I don't think he's realised that the leaders are coming up behind him yet. He pulls just out of the way at the last minute, but that allowed Tom C and everybody past. So that's how... Well, that's pretty much the on-board there of Steve F1, his point of view, and he really did lose out in that situation. But to MC back up the inside of Mitch into Ascari, that is a brilliant move once again. These two showing you how you overtake without making contact. That is fantastic driving from TOMC and Mitch. Mitch now on board with him. He's just pulled out from TOMC. He's back in the lead of the race. That is fantastic. Once again, this is just spellbinding driving. as they head through the Parabolica. There's now only 7 minutes left of the race. I think that means that there's going to be only, well, maybe 6 or 5 laps left to go. And this race is fucking crazy, Jan, just absolutely crazy. And here we go, over the line. I'm pretty much getting mixed up today as ToMC pulls out from that slipstream. There's no bump drafting going on. Oh yes, there is. Steve F1 pushing Mitch back up the road, and that's put Mitch back into a winning position, but it's Lex very, very close there to having contact with ToMC, and that's put Lex up into P2, but Lex is definitely not relinquishing wanting to fight for the win here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Mitch has cocked it over, and Lex, that's through. Yeah, Mitch, that's through, and where's ToMC? Is ToMC in front? Yes, he is! Brilliant move there from ToMC. Fucking hell, that's just fantastic driving. But Steve F1, he knows there's only less than 7 minutes, 6 minutes to go. He's got to just sit there and wait for his prime opportunity. Let these guys fight. As ToMC is once again fighting Lex. Just let these guys fight. Just let them fight. Hopefully they make a mistake. They fly off the circuit. But Steve F1 is ready to pick up the pieces. It's P4 right now, but yeah, Mitch down in P3. I don't think Steve F1 will be too disappointed. If Mitch wins the race and Steve F1 finishes 4th, that's the championship wide open once again. But here we go, ToMC. Oh no, we're back to RJ Cool in P5. He's pretty much in no man's land with Mandalorian and Diesel trying to hunt him down. Oh, Mangino getting all crushed up there through Ascari. That is unfortunate. Oh, we've got Lex once again not working together. These guys really are now fighting tooth and nail. Who's going to win this one? This is all about the luck of the draw. Who's going to be in front on the last lap as ToMC and Mitch side by side. Mitch trying it on his teammate, but Lex is definitely out to prove a point to say, hey, Run, I'm definitely your number 1 driver. Oh, getting all crossed up there, riding the sausage like a Mandalorian says. And yeah, almost splattered all over the windscreen. But luckily, he's still got the lead of the races. Mitch is in P2. And yeah, Steve F1, he really does not need Mitch finishing any higher than P3 if Steve F1 is not going to be able to get onto the podium. But right now, Lex leads the race, and yeah, this is so close, so close. This has been a race-long battle as RJ Cool really coming under pressure now, Jam. Indeed he is. Mandalorian on fresh tyres really is hunting RJ Cool down in P5. And Diesel is also on quite fresh tyres in P7, so RJ Cool runs slightly wide out of Ascari. This could give Mandalorian the run, and so is Diesel. Diesel's through as well, so RJ Cool, yeah, I think he may be holding on to them tyres a bit too long, and the grip has pretty much completely gone now as Mitch leads the race with Lex, his teammate, right behind him, and ToMC in P3. Once again, they've gone back to bump drafting, but this is quite bizarre as there's only 3 and a bit minutes left of this race, but Steve F1 sat there in 4th place just hoping and praying that there is contact, and ToMC trying to take it round the outside there of Lex into P2 now for ToMC as they're braking for the first chicane. So here we go, this is really getting serious now, no mistakes have to be made. Mitch, yeah, he is in the best position if he wants to extend his gap over Steve F1. He's got 2 drivers between him, that's ToMC and Lex. But Steve F1 really, I don't think Steve F1's got the tyres to fight these guys. He's pretty much just sitting there, sat in that slipstream. That's pulling him round, but his tyres are knackered as ToMC now having a run here for the lead of the race up the inside of Mitch. Towards Ascari, under braking, he's just in front. That's a brilliant move, a slight lock up there from ToMC, but he's got the move made there. On the exit of Ascari, it looks like Lex is very close behind Mitch as well, so this has just been absolutely frantic 40-minute racing between these 4. This has just been fantastic. Oh, Mitch back up the inside of Parabolica. That's a brilliant move. Can he slow it down? Yes, he does. He leaves room on the exit. That is fantastic driving. Oh, so close as he forced him off. No, I think that was just a slight bit of contact. I think he might just get away with that one. Fucking hell, this is where the pressure is building. Mitch, if he makes a slight mistake and he ends up forcing somebody off the track, that could end in disaster, but he's got his teammate Lex pushing him once again.
Lex has got nowhere to go, so he may as well try and bump draft Mitch, and that might help him out. As Steve F1 very, very close to the back of this battle. This is so close, anything can happen. Hopefully there's no mistakes as Lex is in P3. No, he's up into P2 now. So under braking. Oh, Mitch is making a massive mistake. Mitch is heading backwards. That's Lex, 2MC and Steve F1 in front of him. No, Steve F1 has not got in front of him, sorry. 2MC takes it round the outside. We need to be looking at that battle. Yeah, Mitch now down to P3. I thought Mitch had completely binned it, but he managed to keep momentum and keep in front of Steve F1. That was almost heart-in-mouth moment there for Mitch, with only 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go till the end of the race. But yeah, Steve F1, this is the position he needs Mitch to finish in, if he's going to finish in front of him. If Steve F1 can try make a move on Mitch, I'm pretty sure he will go for it, but I think his tyres are knackered, because we're now looking who is going to win this race. It's between these two, I think, right now. It could be any one of these four, but I think it's between 2MC and Lex as they head through the Parabolica. This might be heading, yeah, this is definitely these guys heading on to their final lap. So Lex leads the race on the final lap. Is he going to win it? I am not too sure, as 2MC's right behind him. 2MC pulls out. This could give Mitch in P3. This could give him a bit of slipstream. Is he close enough? Yeah, this is so close. Mitch is in there. Where's he going to go? He's got nowhere to go, and this is bringing Steve F1 with him too. Ah, fucking hell, this is so fucking frantic. Right now on the last lap, here we go. Lex is, he's lost out to 2MC side by side with Lex running through the chicane. Lex loses out there, runs over the sausage, and Mitch is in P3. But yeah, this is so close. 2MC leads the race on the final lap. Who is going to win that? Can Lex get back in the slipstream? Can Steve F1 try and beat Mitch? Mitch, he will be foaming if he doesn't try and pull a gap. This is a replay of Diesel and Mandalorian. I think who's going to come out on top? Side by side through the chicane, and Mandalorian back in front. But we need to be looking right now at the race leader, 2MC and Lex side by side running through Ascari. This is so close now. I think, yeah, the Tyrrell team absolutely on the edge of their seat. Is 2MC going to win the race? Is Lex going to win his first race for McLaren? This is so close, heading down towards the Parabolica. Lex moves to the outside. 2MC on the inside. Steve F1 up the inside. Oh, this is so close. What's going on there? Oh, the lead of the race side by side. Oh, Steve F1's off the track. Oh, and Lex, is he going to beat 2MC over the line? Who's going to 2MC? Ah, fucking hell, what a close race. That was such a close race. Oh, we've got Diesel in P6. He's run wide in the final corner. There must have been an incident. But yeah, what was going on? Steve F1 came P3. But he ran wide in the final corner. I don't know what happened there. Diesel's, yeah, showboating there over the line. Mandalorian came P5. Here comes RJ Cool in P... Oh, Ullman just overtaking Mangino on the final lap into the Parabolica. So Ullman snatches P8 for the Tifosi around the final corner, and he will love that, snatching an extra point on the last lap. Therefore, Ullman, Mangino and Neligier comes away with P9. There's points on the table. And AFC Guna in P10 in the final. Oh, this is the replay. Steve F1 went up the inside of Mitch. What happened on the exit? It looks like Mitch forced Steve F1 off the track. Let's have a look again on the onboard. Steve F1 turns in. He's got in front. Here we go. Oh, Mitch just forces him off the track. Oh my God, that is crazy. Oh, but then he backs out. He backs out of it. That could be blowing the championship wide open. This was the replay with Diesel. How did he end up off track? He went up the inside and he flew off. He flew off and onto the gravel. Oh, so he wanted that position so hard that he nearly flew off the circuit. But wow, what a race. That was crazy, Jack.
Indeed it was, Justin. I want to thank you for joining us. And yeah, let's have a look at them race results there. 2MC took the win with Lex in P2 and Steve F1 in P3. But let's have a look now at the championship standings after those penalties have been applied. And yeah, it's looking like a very different picture. Steve F1 now leads the championship with 2 points over Mitch in P2. Unfortunately, with Mitch finishing in P4 and a minus 3 point penalty, that means that his deficit has just reduced massively. So come back next week for the one and only Spain. We were due to drive at the Goodwood circuit, but unfortunately there's been a problem, so we will be driving at the Catalunya circuit in Barcelona. So yeah, thank you very, very much for watching. And please make sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you all again next week. Goodbye.